Councillor Fielding.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will be brief. We've had some good debate here. It seems there is a bit of a difference, a big difference between a large amount of council here, and that's good. I mean, you do have ideas that flow back and forth. I'm going to briefly give some of the highlights of the budget and answer a few questions, and then we're going to go move to the vote. But as mentioned, this budget really is, the big focus is on public safety while delivering the core services. We know that there's more police officers that are going to be patrolling our street, more cadets, more firefighters to help protect our citizens. We know that there's property tax freeze. We know that there's business taxes are going to see some relief. There's investments in Assiniboine Park, and there's extension of some of their services, whether it be library hours, whether it be materials that are part of it, is all part of this budget. You know, as I mentioned earlier on, this is a tough budget, and I think there's a delegation that came and said we kind of got hammered from both sides, both from the left wing and the right wing. And I could tell you, you know, some of my right wing friends has said to us that we need to be more responsible, physically responsible. My answer to them is the fact, over the last 14 years, we've maintained a property tax freeze while other jurisdictions, Edmonton, Calgary, Regina, you know, Saskatoon, all these jurisdictions are raising their taxes by upwards of almost 50% while we've maintained a property tax freeze for our citizens because we think that it's important to be competitive. I've also heard the arguments that well, you receive more revenues from the federal government or provincial government. Is that true? Absolutely. But it's not like we're the only municipality in the country that is receiving more revenue from other levels of government. Every municipality is getting more money through the gas tax, through a variety of different sources. So at the end of the day, we think that we have been fairly physically responsible over the last number of years. There's been talk about efficiencies. I know with the new ASD model that will be part of that. I'm going to be a part of that process in terms of finding efficiencies, and I think we can never rest until we find as much efficiencies as we can. So I look forward to making the system more efficient. There's also been some talk from opposition councillors, and you have your opinions. I appreciate that. And you know, there's also been talk of services, and I guess what I would suggest is there's one service that a lot of the opposition councillors would wholeheartedly support, and that would be to get rid of Hansard. Because some of the comments that we've had over the last 5 years, we can truly say that's a service that probably shouldn't be had for councillors like my good friend Councillor Gerbasi, who's been all over the record on these items.
Well,
but with that,
it's out of context. It's easy.
Another item that hasn't been brought up is in terms of the time frame for the budget. And what I can say with the budget, we have over 2 weeks to debate this, shorter than last year's and years before. To be fair with this, I would like to see a longer period of time. I take a lot of pride in terms of how the budget is transposed. But with this, because of the short time frames with the elections, we started a lot late. That's there. I'd also like to note the federal government, I believe, is tabling their budget later on today, and I understand the government could fall on the vote of the budget in 2 days. So the federal budget, which is billions of dollars more than the city of Winnipeg, has 2 days to debate. We've got a whole ample of time that's there. Library services, extension of some core services. I know that was near and dear to Councillor Smith's heart, and I think for the second year in a row, we've increased not only just material libraries. People have come to us, the library board said, you know, we need about $25,000 more on an annual basis to upgrade in terms of e-technologies that's there. We added to the budget 2 years in a row. We've added also in terms of library hours, in terms of Wi-Fi services. So I think we're starting to address that. Are we far behind? Absolutely, and the service-based budget is something that definitely addresses that. But overall, I can say that I think we're moving in that right direction and we're making some strides. I'd like to see people using the libraries again, but I think you got to embrace the new technology, the e-books, e-learning to get the young people back into the libraries that are there. So with that, Mr. Speaker, I will close the debate. I can tell you we believe that, yes, some tough decisions have been made here in the budget. We'd not prefer to make them, but we had to make them for the long-term stability of the organization. And we most definitely in this budget are addressing our citizens' #1 concern, and that's putting more police officers in the street to make the community more safe. So you, with your family, can enjoy, go yourself out. What sort of quality of life do you have here in the city of Winnipeg if crime is out of control? And we think the budget here is a step in the right direction in terms of making the community safer. So with that, I'll close the debate, and I encourage all councillors to support the budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor.